Good day, everybody. Today I'm going to be showing you how to play the board game Monopoly Avatar Way of the Water. The object of the game is you're going to try to have the most amount of wood sprites by the time the game ends. So now we have locations that are all based off of the island of Pandora, and they are all owned by Eywa. What this means is that all of these locations will not be bought or sold. What you're going to be doing is you're going to be connecting to them via these wood sprites over here. All these location cards are going to start face down. They're going to be unconnected, and what you're going to be doing is trying to connect to these locations and collecting wood sprites from any locations that you are managing. There's also an RDA side of the card here, and this is going to be placed on the board anytime the Scorpion, which is this piece right over here, lands on it. Now, unless it is protected by a spirit tree, then the RDA is going to take possession of the location, and it's going to be placed here on the board. These are the different character tokens that you have to choose from, and you're going to pick one and you're going to go ahead and place it over here on the go space like this, along with the Scorpion. And when you land on or pass go, you will collect 2 wood sprites. So in the beginning, everybody is going to start with 5 of these and then 2 of each of these, so they're going to have 15 to start with. You also have RDA cards here and then Na'vi cards here as well. And anytime you land on those particular spaces, you're going to go ahead and draw a card. The RDA cards are going to have negative effects typically, and the Na'vi cards are going to have more positive effects. Now, some of these cards you will be able to hold on to and play at a later time, but a lot of the cards are going to go ahead and be played immediately once you get them. You also have 4 spaces over here. You have the Banshee Flock, the Dire Horse Herd, the Illupod, and then the Tolkien Pod. Whenever you land on one of these, you will have the opportunity to move to any space that is between this and then the next one of these spaces over here. Right here you have a space just visiting. Nothing will happen if you land there. If you land on free parking, nothing will happen. If you land on go to jail, you're going to go ahead and move your character to jail. To get out, you're going to go ahead and pay 1 wood sprite, or you can go ahead and try to roll doubles in 3 turns and you get out that way. Like I rolled a 12, I would be able to get out and then move 12 spaces. If on the 3rd turn I can't get out, I will simply go ahead and pay the 1 wood sprite, and the wood sprites are going to be money in this game, and then move out that way. Another way I can get out is if one of my opponents ends up landing on the just visiting space. Whenever they land on just visiting, I'll be able to get out of jail that way as well. So anytime you see the cards on the board like this means that this particular location is unconnected. To connect to a location, you'll have to land on it by exact count, and then you can go ahead and pay the cost that is on the board to connect to the location. When you do that, you're going to go ahead and pick up this card. Now on the back of the card, it's going to tell you how many wood sprites you will get if you land on this space again. So since I'm connected, I would get 1 wood sprite. If I happen to have a Na'vi spirit tree, which I'll talk about in a bit, I will receive 2 wood sprites. Now my opponent will also be able to gain wood sprites if he lands on my location that I happen to be connected to. He will gain 1, and I will also gain the amount listed here on the card. You've got 2 dice here. The blue die, it represents what the Na'vi player will move, and then the black die represents how much the Scorpion is going to move. So you'll roll both. Now if a Scorpion ends up landing on an unconnected location or a connected location, meaning that I actually have this in my possession, what's going to happen is the Scorpion is going to take possession of it, and then the card will be laid onto the board like so. Now, if all the cards on the board end up being taken by the Scorpion or the RDA, then the game is going to end and everybody is going to lose. So what you can do is once someone lands on this again, you can pay what is called the reconnection fee. And the reconnection fee is going to be listed here. This particular card is going to say 2. And when you reconnect, you'll go ahead and flip the card back over like this, and the next player that lands on it will be able to go ahead and take it back into their hand. Now, if you end up landing on one of these and you don't want to connect to it, it's going to go up to what is called offerings, which is the same as an auction. You can bid as low as 1. Whoever ends up winning the offering auction will end up taking possession of the location. Now, here are the Na'vi spirit trees. The Na'vi spirit trees will be able to be used if one player is in charge of 2 locations of the same color group. The price of the Na'vi spirit trees is going to be listed here, so I would simply just pay that, and then I could go ahead and build the trees like so. Now, if the Scorpion lands on that, they will not take possession because they are protected by the trees. Now, there are a number of ways you can go to jail. You can go to jail by landing on this space if a card ends up sending you there, or if the Scorpion ends up landing on you by exact count, like so, he will send you to jail that way. Now, if you land on the Scorpion, you will not go to jail. you'll just be hanging out with them. Also, you can go to jail if you roll doubles 3 times. So to kind of show you how the game works, let's just say I've rolled the 1, so I'm going to roll here. I've landed on Hallelujah Mountains. Now it's unconnected right now, and this is going to cost 1, so I'm going to go ahead and expend 1 of the wood sprites and go ahead and take possession of this card. The Scorpion has rolled 5, so I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's landed on the Banshee Rookery. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and flip this car over, and it basically says that it is now owned by the RDA, and it's going to go to the next player. So the next player goes and he rolls a 1. So he lands on me, so he's going to go ahead and get 1 wood sprite. I will also go ahead and pick up 1 wood sprite. Scorpion will go 1, 2. He landed on stone arches, so again, this is going to be taken by the RDA. So essentially what you're going to be doing is you're going to be trying to keep the RDA from taking over these different locations by having to reconnect while you're trying to connect to these other locations and earn wood sprites. You will be able to swap locations with each other, however, you will not be able to buy or sell to each other. Now, if it turns out that you have to pay wood sprites and you can't afford to, you can turn back over a location that is in your possession to the RDA, and you will get the wood sprites that you paid for. If you can't do that, then you will be out of the game. So the game is going to end once all of the locations have been taken. And what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and collect that amount of wood sprites for every location that you have in your possession. And then what you'll do is you'll add up all the wood sprites, and then whoever has the most amount of wood sprites at the end is going to be declared the winner. And if the Scorpion ends up taking over every single one of these properties, everybody is going to go ahead and lose the game.